The question, what is consciousness, is really only a question that can be answered by someone who experiences their consciousness, to someone who is practicing the experience of experiencing their consciousness. To someone who has never known what water is, what the ocean is, and they ask the question, what is the ocean? No description that I can give will make you feel what it feels like to swim in the ocean. If you ask the question, what is love? No description I can give will be able to communicate the experience of love. Yet when you feel what love is, any description will make sense. Your consciousness, in the simplest way that I can try and describe it, is if you've ever been in a room and somebody has walked into the room. Sometimes you walk into a room and you feel that someone else is present, maybe even if your eyes are closed. Someone may silently walk into the room and you know that someone is there, something is there. There is a presence in the room. I can feel someone there. Now turn that experience to yourself. When you close your eyes, the things that you become aware of are all your thoughts and your distractions. But more important than your thoughts and the things that you think about, when you close your eyes, stop and think, is someone here in this space right now? Imagine you yourself are like a room. You will notice something is here, and that something is what I call me. We will all know it very clearly as soon as we go into our own space, close our eyes, and we will say, if nothing else is here, I am here. You all know the experience of what I am is. You all know what consciousness is. But it is so close to you that you've never really looked at it in detail. You've used your awareness to look at other things, but you do not turn your awareness on itself. When you understand that you are there within your own space, then the question arises, who is that you? And it seems like a very nonsensical question. Well, it's me. I am here. But the further you study and read into your own sense of self, you will notice that there is a presence that the mind has labeled me. There is an awareness within you, and your mind has said, this is me, this is my awareness, I am aware. But the more you look into it, you will realize that the mind and the awareness are two distinct things. The mind has labeled the awareness as me, and then it does everything else to attach things onto that me. This is my awareness, and this awareness exists in a body. So this must be my awareness, and this must be my body. And then everything around that body that we associate with are also belonging to the mine, the me. But the more you understand yourself and you follow the words of the Guru, you will realize that this me is just a mental construct. It's a construction. It's a useful tool. But it isn't a reality. That presence isn't mine. That presence is simply there. And looking at your own space and just realizing there is a presence here which I have called me, but I have wrongly attributed that as being mine. It is just present. Now, this particular technique is one that is a focus of the Vedanta tradition, specifically the non-dual Advaita Vedanta tradition. Gurbani fully accepts this understanding of the awareness. Gurbani goes in line with this understanding of the awareness, and it understands that this awareness is not me. But what Gurbani does, rather than just labeling it as awareness, it labels it as the oneness. What the Guru does is it doesn't just focus on being aware of the awareness. It focuses on the whole totality of creation Everything inside and everything outside you belongs not to me, but belongs to something else, and gives it a name, Ik, oneness, God, Paramatma. So our focus is not to just be aware of our awareness. Our focus is to keep our mind constantly aware that awareness and body and surroundings and time and this moment and all things in the past that have happened are all part of this game called Hukam, which has a owner, and the owner is the oneness. So I'm very quickly going through some very deep subjects here, and I hope I'm able to give you a little bit of a glimpse as to what it is that we're referring to when we talk about our awareness and consciousness. Now, the second part of the question is, how do I focus on Guru when I'm having a conversation with someone? Guru now becomes any wisdom that makes you aware that this presence of me is not really mine. So as long as you are within your awareness, as long as your mind is able to realize that the one speaking to me is also the oneness, the one listening is also the oneness, then you are doing what Gurbani calls Satgur ki Seva. You are serving the wisdom of the Guru. You are practicing the wisdom of the Guru. You are in a constant state of awareness. This is why mantra is so important in this tradition. In the Guru's tradition, the Gurmat tradition, having a trigger word, a reminder word that constantly brings you back into realizing that all of this is the oneness. It is not the me. The opposite of Naam is me, I am. The opposite of Naam is ego. Ego does not mean self-importance. Ego means I-am-ness. Either there is oneness in you or there is I-am-ness in you. Both cannot exist. And for most of us, I-am-ness is what is inside. We believe I am is driving this body, is the owner of this body and mind. But the Guru reminds us to use the words with our tongue, to say it out loud, to listen to these words, and to repeat these words within our mind. Everything is you. Tu hi tu, this is you. So you are actively interrupting the mind's habit of constantly doing its own mantra. I call that me thinking. We spend all day in meditation doing me thinking. I am this and I am that. I need to do this and I must do that. I have done that and I will be doing that. You believe you are the driver of this vehicle. With Gurbani's instruction, you interrupt that way of thinking by replacing this fictitious I am with realizing that none of this was actually mine to begin with. So you start to readdress your thinking, reprogram your mind to realize that I am is not the driver of anything, the owner of anything. The I am is just a fictitious character. It's a useful character. It needs to be there. It serves a purpose, but it is not the real character. It is like the character and then knowing that there is an actor. Sometimes when you watch a movie, you realize that there is an actor, and you realize that that actor is playing a part, is playing a character. Most of the time in the movie, you forget the actor and you just get engrossed in the character. In the same way, we forget that we are a character, but there is an actor here, and I am not the actor of this role, this mind and body, but that oneness is the actor who is doing everything. So I hope that gives some clarity, but please do spend time going through the Japji Sahib series. There are a lot of videos covering every verse of Japji Sahib, and we go into a lot more detail, specifically covering these concepts.